The rain came without warning. One moment, Seoul was glowing, neon signs humming, traffic lights blinking patiently, the city breathing in its usual restless rhythm. The next, the sky cracked open, pouring down rain like it had been waiting all day to release its anger. Amara Williams clutched her bag tighter as she ran. Her shoes slipped slightly against the wet pavement, curls already soaked, jacket heavy with rain. She was late again, and the familiar frustration burned in her chest. Late meant apologizing. Late meant eyes lingering on her a little longer than necessary. Late meant feeling like she had failed before the night had even begun. Just my luck, she muttered. She turned a corner too fast and collided with someone solid. The impact sent her stumbling backward as books flew from his arms, scattering across the rain-slick sidewalk. A sharp gasp escaped her lips as she caught herself just in time. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," she said quickly, already crouching down despite the rain soaking into her knees. The man froze. For a second, he simply stood there, rain dripping from his dark hair, hands half raised as if unsure whether to help or retreat. Then she looked up. Streetlight glow caught her face, water clinging to her lashes, breath coming fast. Her skin shone warmly against the cold night, eyes alert, expressive, alive. Min-jae's breath left him without permission. "I know," he said softly, shaking his head as if waking from a dream. "It was my fault." His voice was calm, gentle, carefully controlled, but something in his eyes betrayed him. Curiosity, surprise, something deeper he didn't yet have a name for. They both reached for the same book. Their fingers brushed. A small thing, insignificant. Yet the contact sent a strange awareness through both of them, like the air itself had shifted. "Sorry," they said at the same time. Amara laughed, first a light, genuine sound that cut through the rain. "Well," she said, lifting a soaked book, "at least it wasn't a dramatic fall." That would have been embarrassing. Min-jae smiled without thinking. It wasn't the polite smile he wore at business meetings. Not the practiced one his family expected. It was real. "Fate spared us," he replied. "Barely." She raised an eyebrow, amused. "You believe in fate?" He hesitated. "I didn't. Until tonight." The words surprised even him. They gathered the remaining books in silence, rain pounding around them like a world trying to rush them apart. Yet neither moved to leave. "I'm Amara," she said finally, standing and offering her hand. He looked at it for a moment, her confidence, her ease, the quiet strength in the simple gesture. "Kim Min-jae," he replied, taking her hand. The touch lingered a second too long. Somewhere deep inside Min-jae, something cracked. And Amara, as she let go, felt a strange pull in her chest, an unfamiliar warmth that made her forget, just for a moment, how lonely this city often felt. The rain continued to fall. Neither of them noticed. Because some meetings don't announce themselves as beginnings. They simply arrive and change everything. Kim Min-jae's life was admired by many. From the outside, it looked flawless and almost unreal. He lived in a high-rise apartment overlooking the Han River, where the lights reflected off the water like scattered stars. Every morning, he dressed in tailored suits, drank his coffee exactly the way his mother preferred, and stepped into a world that had already decided who he would become. Success followed him effortlessly. At least, that was what everyone believed. Inside the executive boardroom of Kim Holdings, Min-jae sat straight-backed, listening as men twice his age debated investments worth millions. His father sat at the head of the table, calm and commanding, his presence filling the room without effort. "This deal will strengthen our family name," his father said. The words family name echoed in Min-jae's mind. Everything was always about the name. When the meeting ended, executives bowed respectfully. Compliments followed Min-jae like shadows. "You're just like your father. The future of the company is safe with you. A perfect successor." Min-jae smiled. He always did. But as he stepped out of the building, the memory of rain-soaked curls and a warm laugh crept into his thoughts, uninvited and persistent. Amara. He frowned slightly, annoyed at himself. He had known her for less than an hour. She should not have occupied any space in his carefully ordered mind. And yet, That evening, he returned to his childhood home for dinner, a house built not for warmth, but for legacy. Every wall held framed photographs of ancestors. Every room whispered tradition. His mother inspected him the moment he entered. "You're late," she said, adjusting her silk blouse. "I stayed at the office," he replied automatically. She nodded, satisfied. "Good. Discipline is important." At the dining table, conversation flowed around business, reputation, and future alliances. Then, casually, almost gently, his mother spoke words Min-jae had been expecting his entire life. "The Choi family's daughter has returned from abroad," she said. "Educated, well-mannered, suitable." His father glanced at him. "It's time you started thinking seriously." Min-jae's chopsticks paused mid-air. "Marriage. Not love. Not companionship. Suitability." "I'm not ready," Min-jae said carefully. His mother smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Readiness comes with responsibility. Later that night, alone in his room, Min-jae loosened his tie and stared out the window. Seoul glittered below, alive and full of stories he had never been allowed to live. For the first time, his perfect life felt like a cage. His phone vibrated. A message. Unknown number. "This is Amara, the girl who almost knocked you over in the rain. I think I owe you coffee." Smiler face Min-jae stared at the screen, heart pounding like he was doing something forbidden. Then he typed back, "I was hoping you'd say that." And in that quiet moment, with tradition pressing in from every direction, Min-jae made a small, dangerous choice. He smiled. Amara Williams woke before her alarm rang. The small studio apartment was quiet except for the hum of the heater struggling against the winter cold. She lay still for a moment, staring at the ceiling, letting the familiar weight of responsibility settle into her chest. Another day, another fight. She rolled out of bed, stretching muscles that were always tired, and padded toward the window. The city outside looked different in the morning, less glamorous, more honest. Seoul didn't care who you were or where you came from. It rewarded strength and swallowed the weak. Amara had learned to be strong. She dressed quickly, choosing clothes that made her feel confident, simple, professional, intentional. She paused in front of the mirror, adjusting her curls, meeting her own gaze. "You've got this," she whispered. At the design studio, work came fast and unforgiving. Her boss praised her ideas but rarely credited her openly. Co-workers smiled politely, curiosity sometimes tipping into discomfort. "Your style is bold," one colleague said once, not quite approving, not quite critical. Amara smiled anyway. Bold is good. She worked harder than everyone else because she knew she had to. Dreams were not gifts. They were earned. During her lunch break, she checked her phone. A new message waited. "Min-jae, coffee tomorrow? No rain this time, I hope." She laughed softly, surprising herself. It had been a long time since anyone had made her feel alive. That evening, as she walked home, memories crept in. Her family's voices. The long goodbye at the airport. The way people had warned her, "It won't be easy. You'll be alone." They had been right. She had learned to eat alone, to celebrate quietly, to hold her own heart when loneliness pressed too hard. So when she met Min-jae the next day, she kept her guard high. Yet he listened, really listened. Asked about her dreams without judgment. Spoke gently, never talking over her. "What made you come here?" he asked. She shrugged. "I wanted more. And I wasn't afraid to be uncomfortable." Something shifted in his eyes, respect, admiration, something warmer. When they parted, Amara walked away with a strange ache in her chest. She didn't need love. She had survived without it. But as she unlocked her door that night, she couldn't deny the truth. For the first time in a long while, she wanted it. Min-jae had always known this moment would come. He just hadn't expected it to arrive so quietly. It was a Sunday evening, the kind reserved for family dinners and unspoken expectations. The house smelled of carefully prepared food, the air heavy with familiarity. Min-jae sat across from his parents, posture straight, expression calm just as he had been trained. His mother watched him closely. You seem distracted lately, she said, placing her chopsticks down with deliberate precision. Min-jae met her gaze. Work has been busy. That's not what I meant. Silence stretched between them. His father finally spoke. You've been leaving the office early. Canceling meetings. That's not like you. Min-jae felt it then, the tightening in his chest. The quiet warning that the walls were closing in. There's someone I'm seeing, he said. The words landed softly, but the effect was immediate. His mother's expression hardened. Is she from a good family? Min-jae hesitated. His father noticed. Min-jae, she's not Korean, Min-jae said calmly. The room went cold. His mother inhaled slowly, as though steadying herself. A foreign woman? Yes. And what does she do? His father asked. She's building her career. She's intelligent. Driven. His mother shook her head, disbelief creeping into her voice. That is not enough. Min-jae's hands curled into fists beneath the table. She makes me happy. His mother looked at him, then not with anger, but disappointment. Happiness fades. Honor remains. The words cut deeper than shouting ever could. You are a Kim, his father continued. Our name carries weight. People watch who you choose, who you associate with. Min-jae's voice was steady, though his heart wasn't. She doesn't deserve to be judged because of where she's from or how she looks. His mother stood abruptly. This must end. The finality in her tone stunned him. You will not bring shame into this family, she said. Do you understand? Min-jae stood as well, meeting her gaze for the first time without submission. I won't abandon someone I care about. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then his father said quietly, think carefully. Choices have consequences. That night, Min-jae returned to his apartment, mind racing. He should have been afraid. But instead, he reached for his phone. Are you awake? He typed. Amara replied almost instantly. Always. What's wrong? Min-jae stared at the city lights beyond his window, the weight of tradition pressing down on him like never before. Nothing, he typed. I just wanted to hear from you. And as he sent the message, Min-jae made a decision he didn't yet understand the cost of. He chose love, even if it meant standing alone. They didn't fall in love all at once. It happened slowly, in pieces woven together through moments so small they almost went unnoticed. A shared umbrella on a crowded street. Late-night messages when sleep refused to come. Inside jokes that made no sense to anyone else. Min-jae began to look forward to the parts of his day that involved Amara. He learned the sound of her laugh, how it started soft and then spilled freely when she forgot to hold it back. He noticed the way her eyes lit up when she talked about her work, her hands moving as if her dreams needed space to breathe. Amara, in turn, learned Min-jae's silences. How he grew thoughtful when responsibility weighed on him. How he smiled more easily when he forgot who he was supposed to be. How gentle he was careful, as if he had spent his whole life not wanting to disappoint anyone. They walked often. Seoul at night felt different with him, less overwhelming, more alive. Street food vendors called out. Music drifted from open windows. Laughter echoed between buildings. You know, Amara said one evening, biting into a hotteok, I never thought I'd feel at home here. Min-jae glanced at her. Do you now? She nodded. A little. He smiled, warmth spreading through him. I'm glad. But sometimes, the joy faltered. Amara noticed the way Min-jae stiffened when his phone rang unexpectedly. How he avoided certain places. How he sometimes looked around before reaching for her hand. Min-jae, she said gently one night, stopping mid-walk. Why do you always look like you're waiting for something to go wrong? He hesitated. Because if he told her the truth, he risked losing her. And if he didn't, he risked hurting her later. It's nothing, he said finally. She searched his face, then nodded. Okay, but when you're ready, I'll listen. The trust in her voice nearly broke him. That night, as they stood beneath a glowing street lamp, Min-jae reached out, slowly, deliberately, and took her hand. She didn't pull away. The world didn't end. Instead, it softened. Min-jae realized then that love didn't always announce itself with grand gestures. Sometimes, it lived quietly between heartbeats, between choices, between two people brave enough to stay. And neither of them noticed the shadows stretching closer. The night Min-jae decided to tell her, the air felt heavier than usual. They sat on a low wall near the river, the city humming behind them, water reflecting broken pieces of light. Amara swung her legs gently, unaware that Min-jae's heart was pounding so loudly he was sure she could hear it. He had rehearsed the words 100 times. None of them felt right. Amara, he said quietly. Something in his voice made her turn. Yes? He stared at his hands for a moment, then looked up. There's something I should have told you a long time ago. She didn't smile this time. She waited. My family. He paused, searching for the courage he had never needed before. They won't accept us. Her expression didn't change, but her shoulders tensed. Us? Yes. A breath passed. Then another. Why? She asked. He swallowed. Because you're not Korean. She nodded slowly. I figured. And because, his voice dropped. Because you're black. The word hung between them. Amara looked away, eyes fixed on the river. The water kept moving, as if nothing important had just been said. How long have you known this? She asked. All my life. And you still chose me? Yes. She laughed once, a short, humorless sound. So I've been walking into a battle I didn't even know existed. I didn't want to burden you, he said quickly. I thought maybe things would change. She stood. Min-jae rose with her, panic rising in his chest. Amara, I need honesty, she said firmly. Not hope. Not maybe. He stepped closer. I care about you. I care more than I ever thought possible. Her voice softened, pain seeping through. Caring doesn't stop the world from being cruel. They stood there, the space between them suddenly wider than the river itself. Finally, she spoke again. Do you see me as a secret? The question hit him like a blow. No, he said instantly. Never. Then don't hide, she said. Because I've spent my whole life being told I'm something people should tolerate quietly. Min-jae's eyes burned. I would never be ashamed of you. She searched his face, trying to decide if love was enough to survive truth. I need time, she said finally. He nodded, though it felt like surrender. As she walked away, Min-jae realized something terrifying. Telling the truth hadn't freed him. It had only raised the stakes. Amara didn't call him that night, or the next day. Min-jae checked his phone more times than he could count, each unanswered are tightening the knot in his chest. He told himself to give her space, to respect what she needed, but fear whispered relentlessly. What if the truth was too heavy? On the third day, a message finally appeared. Can we talk? He didn't hesitate. They met at a small park just as dusk settled in, the sky painted in soft purples and fading gold. Amara stood near a bench, arms crossed, not closed off, just bracing herself. I thought a lot, she said as soon as he approached. He nodded. So did I. She took a breath. I've spent years fighting to be seen, Min-jae. Loving someone who has to fight their own family for me. It scares me. I know, he said. It scares me too. She looked at him, then really looked. Not the polished air. Not the careful son. Just a man standing in front of her, vulnerable. But, she continued, walking away hurts more. His heart stuttered. I don't expect this to be easy, she said. I don't expect fairy tales. But I won't shrink myself to fit into someone else's comfort. He stepped closer. I don't want you to. Silence wrapped around them, gentle and fragile. If we do this, Amara said, we do it honestly. No hiding. No half choices. Min-jae nodded. I choose you. Fully. She smiled, then soft, brave, real. They didn't kiss. Instead, she took his hand. And that simple act felt stronger than any promise. From that moment, their love changed. It grew bolder. They went out in public without fear. Laughed louder. Let the world see them. Each glance, each touch carried meaning. We are here, and we are not ashamed. Min-jae knew consequences would come. But as he walked beside Amara, her hand warm in his, he understood something new. Some traditions are meant to be honored. Others are meant to be challenged. And love, real love, was worth the fight. The house was too quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the kind that watched you. Amara felt it the moment she stepped inside the Kim family home. The walls were lined with framed photographs of ancestors, their eyes stern and unyielding, as if guarding centuries of expectation. Every detail spoke of legacy, of rules that had been obeyed without question. Min-jae's hand brushed hers, a small reassurance. "You don't have to do this," he whispered. She lifted her chin. "Yes, I do." The dining room was immaculate. His parents sat waiting, posture perfect, expressions unreadable. "This is Amara," Min-jae said calmly. "The woman I love." His mother's eyes lingered on her for a fraction too long, measuring, evaluating. "Welcome," she said at last. "Please sit." The meal unfolded like a performance. Polite conversation. Controlled smiles. Words chosen carefully, each one hiding something sharp beneath it. "So," his mother said lightly, "what brings you to Korea?" Amara met her gaze. "Purpose." A pause. "And what kind of work do you do?" His father asked. "I'm a designer," Amara replied. "I build brands. Stories. Futures. Ambitious," his mother said. "That can be challenging for a woman." Amara smiled, unbothered. "I believe ambition is a strength." Min-jae felt pride swell in his chest. The tension thickened as the meal continued. "Do you plan to stay here long?" his mother asked. Amara didn't look at Min-jae. "I plan to stay where I'm respected." The words landed softly but carried weight. His mother set her chopsticks down. "Our family values harmony." Amara nodded. "So do I. But harmony doesn't mean silence." For the first time, something flickered in his mother's eyes. Surprise. When dinner finally ended, Amara stood and bowed respectfully. "Thank you for having me." Outside, the night air felt freeing. Min-jae exhaled deeply. "You were incredible." She smiled faintly. "I was honest." But as the door closed behind them, Min-jae knew the truth. Love had just been formally introduced to tradition. And tradition was not impressed. Rumors traveled faster than the wind. By the next week, the whispers had reached business partners, family friends, even distant relatives. Min-jae felt them everywhere, in cold glances during meetings, in hushed tones when his name was mentioned, in subtle warnings wrapped in polite words. He tried to ignore it, tried to focus on work, tried to convince himself that love was enough. It wasn't. One evening, his father summoned him to the study. The room smelled of aged leather and authority. His father sat behind the massive mahogany desk, hands folded neatly. "Sit," his father said. Min-jae obeyed immediately. "I've received complaints," his father began. "From clients, from family friends, from those who care about our reputation." Min-jae's chest tightened. He had anticipated some disapproval, but not this organized, relentless pressure. "You have a choice," his father continued, voice firm but low. "End this relationship, or lose everything." Everything. Min-jae's mind raced. You will be disowned from the company. You will forfeit your inheritance. You will be cut off." The words hung like a storm cloud, heavy and dark. Min-jae clenched his fists. He could feel the blood pounding in his ears. "And if I choose love? You will be alone," his father said coldly. "And the name Kim will not protect you." Min-jae looked down at his hands, shaking slightly. The weight of tradition, of duty, of centuries of expectation pressed on him like a physical force. He thought of Amara, her laugh, her courage, her unwavering strength. He thought of the small moments, her hand brushing his, the way she trusted him, the way she made him feel alive in a life that had always been carefully controlled. He knew the truth, and it terrified him. Love was worth losing everything, but letting go would feel like losing himself. Later that night, he paced the apartment, staring at the city lights below. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't think straight. Then he picked up his phone. Amara, I don't know what to do. The reply came quickly, then do what you know is right. He stared at the words, heart pounding, and realized something frightening and exhilarating. Right doesn't always mean safe. And in that moment, Min-jae made a choice he knew would change his life forever. He chose love, even if it meant standing alone against the world. The rain had returned. Amara stood at the edge of the park, the same one where they had first begun to trust each other, and watched droplets fall like shattered memories. Her hands were trembling slightly, the city lights reflecting in her eyes like tiny stars she could no longer reach. Min-jae approached quietly, sensing the tension before he saw it. Amara? She turned slowly, forcing a smile she didn't feel. Hi. He studied her face, searching for any clue, any sign that she might stay. Instead, he found resolve quiet, painful, unwavering. I can't, she said finally. His chest tightened. You can't what? She shook her head. Be the reason you lose your family, lose your career, lose your place in the world you've been prepared for all your life. Min-jae took a step closer. Amara, we can face it together. I don't care what anyone says. You don't understand. She interrupted, tears threatening to spill. I've spent my entire life fighting for my dreams, for my independence. I won't drag you down because of me. He felt a bitter ache in his chest. You're not dragging me down. You're lifting me up. She took a shaky breath. Min-jae, sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes loving someone means letting go. The words hit him like a physical blow. He wanted to argue, to pull her into his arms and refuse to let go. But he knew better. Amara wasn't asking for protection. She was making the hardest decision of her life. I don't know how to lose you, he whispered. Her tears finally fell. Then don't. But I have to go. She turned, walking slowly away, shoulders squared but heart breaking with each step. Min-jae ran after her, desperate, but she didn't stop. Her hand brushed his, barely a fleeting touch that would haunt him for days. He called her name. She didn't turn. She disappeared into the night. Min-jae stood alone, the rain soaking him, but the cold that settled in his chest had nothing to do with the weather. For the first time, he felt the full weight of tradition pressing down, threatening to snuff out everything he loved. But somewhere, deep inside, a tiny spark remained. And that spark refused to die. Min-jae walked through the halls of the family estate, but the space felt hollow. The walls, once full of authority and comfort, now seemed like prison bars. Every photograph, every framed certificate, every polished surface reminded him of what he had sacrificed and of the one he could not reach. He tried to immerse himself in work. Meetings blurred together, contracts signed, deals finalized. People congratulated him. He smiled. He nodded. But it was all hollow. At night, he would return to his apartment and sit by the window, staring at the city lights without really seeing them. Every street reminded him of her. The laughter echoing in coffee shops, the way she had tied her hair back, the sparkle in her eyes when she was passionate about her dreams. He replayed their moments together, every touch, every shared smile, every stolen laugh. It was torture and comfort all at once. Months passed. The emptiness became routine, like a shadow he could never shake. Business trips and dinners with family offered no relief. Even success felt like a lie. Every victory was muted by the knowledge that she wasn't there to share it. He tried reaching out once, another message, just to say hello. No reply. He understood. She had made a choice. And yet, each night, he whispered her name into the dark night. The city pulsed around him, full of life and opportunity, yet none of it touched him anymore. He was living, but not living fully. In the quiet moments, he realized something painful and unavoidable. He had lost her. But losing her had only made the truth clearer. Love had been real, and it was still alive. Even in the silence. Even in the absence. Even when the world had forced them apart. And somewhere deep inside, Min-jae knew he could not give up, not yet. Because some love refuses to die. Months had passed since Amara walked away. Min-jae had thrown himself into work, into obligations, into every duty his family demanded, but nothing could fill the emptiness she left behind. Then, one morning, he saw her. Not in person, not by chance, on a massive digital billboard towering over Seoul's busiest intersection. Her design, bold, brilliant, unmistakably hers. His heart skipped. Every memory, every laugh, every tender touch rushed back at once. He didn't think. He ran. Through crowded streets, under the harsh glare of neon signs, past the curious stares of strangers. He ran until he reached the building where her studio was located. The door opened, and there she was. Amara. Alive. Strong. Fierce. Beautiful. Min-jae? She said, her voice a mixture of surprise and caution. I don't care about everything else, he said, breathless, eyes locked on hers. I don't care about family, reputation, tradition. I can't live without you. Her expression softened, but tears welled in her eyes. Min-jae, you should have let me go. He stepped closer, taking her hands in his. I tried, but I failed. Because loving you isn't a choice, it's who I am. For a moment, the world around them faded. The city, the noise, the judgment, all of it disappeared. There was only the two of them. I don't know if we can fix everything, she whispered. I don't care about fixing everything, he said, determination burning in his eyes. I just care about us. Her lips trembled into a smile. Then we fight together. And in that instant, everything changed. Love was no longer a quiet spark hiding in the shadows. It was a flame blazing defiantly against the world, unstoppable, unbreakable. They embraced, holding each other like they would never let go. For the first time in months, Min-jae felt whole. And Amara knew, deep in her heart, that some love refuses to die no matter the obstacles. The family estate felt colder than usual. The portraits on the walls seemed to watch him, judgment in every painted eye. His father's study loomed ahead, a symbol of authority he had never dared challenge until now. Min-jae's hand rested on the doorknob. He took a deep breath. Today, he would not bow. Today, he would not compromise. When the door opened, his father looked up, expression sharp. You're late. Min-jae stepped inside. I'm here because I need to speak the truth. His mother, seated elegantly by the window, raised an eyebrow. Truth? Yes, he said. I love Amara Williams. She is my choice, my life, and I will not let tradition or family pressure take that from me. Silence. The air was thick, every heartbeat loud in the quiet room. His father leaned forward, voice measured. You know what this means. You will face consequences. The company, the name, everything we built. I understand, Min-jae said, unwavering. And I accept it. But I will not betray my heart. His mother's eyes glistened. You are risking everything for a woman. He stepped closer, voice firm but filled with emotion. Not just any woman. Amara is brave, strong, and honest. She has challenged me, inspired me, and made me a better person. That is worth more than anything else. His father exhaled slowly, the authority in the room softening slightly. Do you realize what you're asking? I am asking for your understanding, Min-jae said. And if that is impossible, I will still choose her. Even alone. His mother's lips trembled. For the first time, she didn't speak. She only looked at her son, the boy who had always followed rules, the man who now stood unafraid. Minutes stretched into eternity. Finally, she rose, voice softer. You are determined. Then. I am, he said simply. His father leaned back, conflicted but silent. For the first time, Min-jae saw cracks in the armor of tradition, a possibility of change. That evening, he returned to Amara, breathless and elated. They met beneath the same cherry blossoms that had first brought them peace in quiet moments. He took her hands. I've stood my ground. For us. Tears filled her eyes. You didn't just fight for me. You fought for us. For love. He smiled. We define our own future. Together. And under the soft petals falling around them, Min-jae and Amara realized something extraordinary. Tradition may shape the world, but true love defines who they would become. The morning air smelled of blossoms and possibility. Min-jae and Amara walked side by side through the quiet streets of Seoul, their hands intertwined, their steps in sync. The city was alive around them, but they moved in a world that felt entirely their own. Gone were the nights of secrecy, the stolen moments, the shadows of doubt. Gone was the fear of judgment that had once threatened to tear them apart. They had chosen each other, and now, they were ready to define love on their own terms. Do you ever think about how far we've come? Amara asked, her head resting lightly on his shoulder. All the time, Min-jae replied. Sometimes I can't believe it. But I know one thing for sure. He turned to face her, eyes shining. I would choose you over everything again and again. Amara smiled, brushing a stray curl from her face. Then let's keep choosing each other, every day. No matter what. They stopped beneath the cherry blossom tree that had witnessed so many of their quiet moments. Petals swirled around them like confetti, a delicate celebration of their journey. Min-jae took both her hands in his. Tradition tried to define us. Expectations tried to limit us. But love is ours to shape. And we're shaping it together, she said, laughter in her eyes, tears threatening to fall. He pulled her close, their foreheads touching. Together, always. For the first time in their lives, neither of them feared the future. They had faced sacrifice, opposition, and loss and come through stronger, braver, unbreakable. In the distance, the city moved on, busy and bustling. But Min-jae and Amara didn't need the world to approve. They had each other, and that was enough. The cherry blossoms continued to fall, soft and persistent, as if blessing the love that had dared to defy everything. And in that moment, love was no longer forbidden. It was redefined. It was free. It was theirs. If you smiled, laughed, or felt your heart race today, you're not alone. Stories like Amara and Min-jae remind us that love is unpredictable, thrilling, and sometimes just one swipe away. Like this video if you believe in love. Comment your own fun, romantic, or chaotic swipe story. And subscribe for more real love stories that will make you laugh, cry, and fall in love all over again.